Now, then another one comes in now. Because Colm but came and tell all your budget, 92.50 per barrel, we budgeting at that, and $6 per MMBTU. Wade Mark asked him a question in the Senate about what going on. Is the budget collapsing? It's the most, I've been listening to Colm but for decades. Colm but come in there. He only had 10 minutes to talk. He waffled for 4.5 minutes and talked for about a minute and a half and talk abject stupidity. Run it, Archie.
Let me make it very clear. Trinidad and Tobago is a gas-driven economy. And when we look at the budgetary figures, $25 billion is expected to come from oil and oil-related products. And if what we are seeing taking place on the global market in terms of energy prices, the minister must tell us, the government must tell us, how much revenues have we lost in the second quarter as we enter the third quarter. We need to know, and we need to know, Mr. President, whether the government is going to revise and review the budget. Because at $92.50, the minister has set this price so high for crude oil that will give him an excuse to dip into and to raid our HSF. That is the whole issue here too. So our savings might be in trouble. And he can do this without informing the parliament through a debate. We get a piece of paper telling us he has dipped into the HSF, and then we can come and debate it after the fact. So we are calling on the Minister of Finance and the government to come clean. They must take responsibility for setting the price of gas at $6
Senator,
US per MMBTU.
You have 2 more minutes.
And they must take responsibility for setting the price of crude oil at $92.50. I am not even blaming the Minister of Finance. The Prime Minister of the country, who heads the cabinet, must take responsibility for what has happened.
Now, Imbert then followed and waffled and came up with some machination about Hong Kong and so on, high prices at $16 per MMBTU and so on. And if what Imbert was saying, if he even believed the lies he was talking, then if you budget at 6 and then your brilliant government put massive percentages of our gas at 16, then you are running at a surplus, budget surplus of 150%. You easy, like Sunday morning, no pressure. And Imbert is a man, even when things were dead, Petrotin dead, Point Lisa's 10 companies gone, Imbert stand in the parliament and said, Madam Speaker, the energy sector is booming, and this is booming, and but the clap, right? So if Imbert believed the nonsense that he was telling earlier, how come he said, well, we holding on? Run it, Archie, let me hold on.
What the Keith Rowley government did, Honorable Keith Rowley government did, is immediately negotiate new formulas for the derivation of revenue for the country and the people of Trinidad and Tobago, so that the LNG netback price, for example, is influenced to a significant extent by the price of gas in the UK, using a benchmark called NBP. Clearly, the Honourable Senator is blissfully unaware of that benchmark. And also, it's influenced to some extent by a benchmark in the Far East, the JKM, which is the Japan-Korea benchmark. And as we speak here today, although Henry Hub is $2.70, the NBP price for natural gas in the UK is $16. And the JKM price for gas in the Far East is $16. So what the Honorable Prime Minister was able to do, notwithstanding the old talk from the UNC, was to negotiate a new formula for revenue for this country based on these three benchmarks, not simply Henry Hub, but also the UK price and the Far East price. And that has given us significant additional revenue from LNG. The misinformation, the bad propaganda, all the old talk, all the foolishness, Mr. President, that we are holding our own and we are doing well. And I end by saying I looked at the overdraft percentage this morning, and instead of the usual 95% and 90% that I used to see in 2017, 2018 and 2019, the overdraft this morning was 43%. I beg to move.
Let me tell you something. He pegged the budget at $6 US per MMBTU and come here in the Senate to talk about LNG. Trinidad and Tobago does not own any LNG. We have a percentage in train 1. They renegotiate, they have different train 2, 3, 4. We have nothing of that. If they have a higher price to get, all we will get is taxes from that. That's not the point. The point is that you came and did a mathematical equation based on $6 US. Forget for what, I ain't trying to confuse all you. $6 US. You say we're going to get X amount of billion, but the price is 278. So you're going to get X minus Y. That minus is deficit. That man ball, after he talk all that nonsense, we hold it, we own. We ain't asking what you just do in the bathroom, Colm. We asking about the money, about the budget, about the incompetence of you. And you're saying that people, the UNC want to celebrate that the economy is in shutters? No, the UNC wants you out so the UNC could fix the economy and make Trinidad and Tobago sweet again. More bad news for Imbot. So Imbot, this is not a UNC, eh? This is a PNM, Express Finance. Ammonia prices fall on global markets. Outlook is for even lower prices. Government's revenue will be hurt after he come in the Senate and lie and talking a set of nonsense. There is more bad news for Finance Minister Colm and the wider economy as ammonia prices have been falling globally, and therefore lower revenue will accrue to the government and the National Gas Company. Within recent weeks, there's been a steep and steady drop in the price of petrochemicals. Last week alone, the fall was $90 US a ton, or close to 15% decline. There are some traders who are even suggesting that the Tampa settlement, which guides the price TNT will get on its ammonia, could cascade by as much as 25% or 200 US per metric ton. It means the government is being hit all around with lower commodity prices, while according to the central bank, the Keith Rowley administration was able to achieve its revenues in the first quarter of the financial year, October, November, December. The second quarter has seen lower prices. So pressure all around, but Imbot come to lie to tell you about NPT and HKM.